Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. This is Matt with Coyote Creek Archery, and today I've got another bow review for you. This is starting a series of bows from Bowtech. They're new for 2024 bows that have came out, and the first one in the lineup is the Core SR. It's their new flagship speed hunting bow that they've came out with, and you might notice I've got some accessories on here. That's just part of some of the new things that Bowtech has came out with. A lot of great stuff. They've added some new technologies to their bows, different cams, and changed some things up with that, but also a line of accessories that we'll talk about. So this is one of the bows that I'm pretty pleased with and pretty excited about for this year. They had the Solution a couple of years back, and then they went to the SR350, and now the Core SR for their speed bow. And so let's get to the specs. Talk a little bit about the specs on this bow and some changes and updates that they've made for 2024. The physical weight on these bows, bare bow is 4.5 pounds. Draw length adjusts from 25 up to 30 pounds, and that is with the flip disc modules. So if you've watched videos before or if you're familiar with Bowtech, you know about these, but if you're not, they have a module, and I can show you better on the bottom. Their module adjusting the draw length. It's real easy because it has the actual draw length numbers marked on the cam. You don't have to look at a module spec sheet to find those. It's not an ABC or a 1, 2, 3. It's real easy with the actual draw length marked on the cam. It does have a cable stop, but it has a comfort or a performance. So right now from the factory, these come in comfort mode. It's going to give you a smoother draw cycle. And this bow does have a nice smooth draw cycle. But if I flip this over and set it the same draw length setting, I can gain about 9 to 10 feet per second with that. But I'm also going to have more of an aggressive draw cycle. It may be a little bit more stiff. It may be a little bit more of a dump into a valley. I'm going to shoot it with both so you can see both and we can check the speeds on both. But they're keeping these flip disc modules on here for 2024. Peak draw weights of 50, 60, and 70 pounds. And if you've watched my videos before, you know I like to shoot 60 pounds. And so I was going to back this bow off, but I thought I need to check the manual first, and I'm glad that I did. The Core series of bows only allow for 9 pounds of draw weight adjustment. So if the peak weight on this bow is 70, I can only take it down to 61 pounds. Or it says 9 turns out on the limb bolt. So I did the 9 turns out on the limb bolt. Before I shoot this, I will check the draw weight and we'll see what the weight's coming in at. I'm guessing it's going to be 61, 62 pounds, something like that. So just keep that in mind. That is in the manual for the Core series bows this year, that 9 turns or 9 pounds. So 60-pound bow, you can get 51 pounds out of it and so on. So there's only 9 pounds of adjustment in the limbs. Advertised 344 feet per second, and they've been coming in pretty true to their speeds. I'm not going to shoot it at 70 pounds and 30-inch draw length. I'm going to shoot it at what I would use for a hunting setup and base it off of that. Axle to axle on this bow is 33 inches, so it's a nice hunting size. It's not too compact, but yet it's not too long that you can't hunt with it. And then it has a 6-inch brace height, which they're using to get a little bit more speed out of the bow. 9 color options on these bows. They've mixed it up a little bit what you can get for color options. This is the OD green, which is one of my favorite colors. I used to own a Solution in the OD green, and I really like the color of that. I really like the new limb graphics that they've put on here. They've changed things up a little bit with their Bowtech logo. It's a little bit more subdued. Same thing here on the riser. Okay, it just looks really nice and clean. I really like the way that looks. But also with the color options, you can mix and match. So this does have the OD green limbs, but if you wanted to go with the FDE limbs or you wanted to go with a camo limb or whatever you wanted to do, you can mix and match the riser and the limb colors to whatever you want to customize that to. Typically there is a small upcharge fee for that to do those different things for some specific colors, but that is an option. So starting back with the technology, we talked about the flip disc modules. These bows over the last several years have had their deadlock cam system. You can see it's a little bit different color this year. They've changed this. Used to be red on the end. Now it's a gray color, but it's still the same technology. You have a lock screw, unlock that, and you turn this with an Allen wrench, and you can move that cam side to side to fine tune your bow. Typically, I don't mess with that much until I am shooting broadheads at distance, and I'll use that to really fine tune in my broadheads and get them shooting spot on with my field points at 30, 40 yards, and then I know that I'm ready to hunt. So really nice feature to have. It sure beats taking the cams off and replacing shims and fighting all that. This is very simple and a very easy way to do it. And then once you're done, you just lock it down and you don't worry about it again. But back in the cam, another new addition this year, this came off of their Target line, the Reckoning Gen 2 series from last year, is their time lock. So if you look where this cable attaches to the cam, there is a lock screw and then a set screw that's going to drive, and it's going to pull that cable one way or the other to adjust your timing. So that's a feature that makes adjusting your timing very easy. You don't need a bow press for that. Typically, we would put this in a press. We would put a half twist one way or the other with your cables to adjust your timing, and this lets you really fine tune that. Sometimes a half twist one way or the other is too much or not enough, and you are kind of stuck in between, to where this allows you to really fine tune your timing on your bow. This is a new cam. This cam is the same cam that is on the Iwasaki Gen 3 and also on the Carbon 1X. The Core SS has a very similar shaped cam, but it's a little bit larger. And I didn't notice that until I started looking at the bows, and I could see that cam was a little bit larger. I took some measurements, and the Core SS has a larger cam. Same profile, same shape, same technology, just a larger shape. They also went back to the cable routing system. So if you remember from 2023, this will be the CP30 and the SS34. They made some changes on the cam. They got away from how they routed this like they did previously on the SR350 and the Solution, and they had a bridging piece in the cam that would bring this down more straight. But they also had a few bows with some issues with some cable rubbing and some serving separation back here. And just guessing this, I don't know this for sure, but I'm guessing that they went back to this system that they had previously to get away from that cable serving separation issue that they had before. So this is back to the same cable routing that they've had on previous bows. So that is just a change back for 2024. Moving from the bottom going up, we've got place here to mount a two-piece quiver, also place to mount a back bar mount. Bowtech did come out with a new back bar mount this year, and you can mount it directly to the riser here. You can also mount in any of these holes down here on the bottom part of the riser if you're using a back bar mount. We have grip lock, which is kind of a neat feature where you've got a set screw on either side of this grip on both sides, and then in the front of the riser you can see this small hole. You've got a screw that's going to drive this grip forward or backward, where you can change this grip angle. You can kind of micro tune your draw length with that as well, and kind of a neat feature. It's a target bow feature. I don't know that it's something that I'm going to mess with very much because I really like the grip that Bowtech has used previously. It feels good to me. They did add a little bit of rubberized texture to it, so you can see right in here where it's a little bit different shape. They add some rubberized texture to the grip right there in the center. Still has the double burger holes. And then as we move up, obviously now you can see this sight. This is their center mass technology. So this is a Bowtech labeled sight made by Black Gold, and it slides down the center of the riser. So you can see there is a slot cut out. This will slide into the center of the riser. It's only going to accept these center mass labeled sights. And then there is a set screw that's going to feed through one of these holes in the sight. And the riser is actually threaded on the back side. So this would thread into the riser and hold this very securely in place. But it's putting the weight of that sight more in the center of the bow and not so much out to the side. You can also see that I've got a quiver mounted to this. This is a new quiver. It's a Bowtech branded quiver made by Tight Spot and uses the same A lot of the same features that you would see on a standard type spot as far as your locking feature, your ability to slide this quiver in and out if you would like to. Same adjustment up and down with the set screws, and same adjustment with the arrow tension here, where you can adjust the tension of your arrows depending on the size, diameter of the arrow that you're using. It does have foam in the hood, and this is their skeletonized hood that they're started using on tight spots to reduce some weight. This is a very lightweight quiver. You know, it just has the single carbon rod holding it together. It's got a little clip. So if I take this off, you can see this little clip where if you were to hang this up on a tree branch or whatever from your tree stand, but this quiver weighs very little, very lightweight, and it uses that two-piece mounting bracket up above. So we can mount this into the riser up above. You can also mount it into your sight bracket holes if you want to use your standard tight spot mount, but this is utilizing that new bracket up above, and it allows you to get this very tight to the bow. Depending on where you place this up and down, you can get this. You can see right here how tight I've got that, just enough so that those limbs are going to clear when I shoot this. So, and if I was to bring this down lower, I could bring it in actually a little bit tighter to the bow as well. And what that is doing is helping to reduce the torque. So when I'm aiming, this quiver is not pulling my bow to the side. Eliminates some of the need for back bars and helping to balance some of the weight of the bow out. So having that quiver in tight and close to the bow. Same with the mounting system for the center mass technology on the new sights. That's going to bring everything to the center. So with the sights, there's 3 different options. This is the 5-pin. It is an adjustable sight, so you do have the dial system just like you would on a pro sight, pro hunter sight from Black Gold. They have a 3-pin, a 5-pin, and the dual track. So those are some new options and features that you've got there. And other than that, I say other than that, that's a lot of technology and a lot of changes. They still have their locking limb pockets and all that great technology that went into the bows. And with the riser change, I'm going to get this quiver out of the way just so it's a little bit easier to show you. The riser is a little bit slimmer. So you can see we're a little bit slimmer on the top and on the bottom, quite a bit slimmer than what they were on the CP30 and the SS34, but they've kind of expanded here on their center pivot technology, not to the extreme of some of the older bows like the Captain and the Guardian, but we've got kind of that same idea where our pivot point is now here, and we're getting a lot of efficiency out of these limbs. There's very little flex in these limbs anymore, which just makes for a great shooting bow. So you can see how they slim this up, but then widen this out here. And the Core SS is even a little bit more pronounced than that. But lots of bridging in this riser, a lot of cutouts and a lot of places where this opened up to take out some weight, but also to provide some rigidity and stability and make for just a great shooting bow. So all that new technology wrapped up into this new bow. It feels great. It looks great. And let's go shoot it and see how it feels when we shoot it and see what type of speeds we're getting out of this. So I'm ready to take a few shots with this Core SR. I did check the draw weight. I backed the limb bolts out 9 turns, and I was at 61.7 pounds. So it's coming in, just over 70 pounds, 70 and a half pounds or so at with the limbs all the way down. Backed out 9 turns, it was 61.7. So a little bit over the 60 that I typically shoot, but not bad at all. It's gonna draw really nice. This is a nice profiled cam and going to be fairly smooth cam, but it is going to be a little bit more aggressive, being that it's designed to be a speed bow and to get some more speed out of it. So 28 inches on the draw length and 61 and a half pounds on the draw weight. And I'm just going to talk through the draw cycle before we look at speed, and then I'll turn the chronograph on and see what speeds we get with this. So it's really pretty linear right into the back end. I'm going to see what it's like to walk this forward. Yeah, there is a lot of let off. So similar to the SR350 is it doesn't really want to go. It kind of sits there in that valley, and you have to kind of find the place to get it to go forward. Now, once you do, it's pretty controllable. It's not super jumpy as far as that goes, but you're not holding much weight back there um, as you're trying to walk that bow forward. You have to find that spot to get it to go. So, but the draw cycle for 61.5 pounds, it feels really pretty easy and pretty smooth. You can see there's a slight dump into the back end right there, but it's really pretty manageable. If I take a shot here, just a slight little jump forward maybe in the bow, but it's very quick. Not really, I wouldn't say it's much for vibration, but when I shoot, I notice the bow just jump forward just a little bit in my hand. I do have a sight on here and just a whisker biscuit rest. If I was to put some stabilizers in the quiver on here, that might help take some of that out of there. But it's very pleasant and very, very fun bow to shoot. It draws really pretty easy for 61.5 pounds, and very comfortable as far as coming into the back end. You do notice that little bit of a dump into the valley, but not much. So I'm going to shoot this into the chronograph, through the chronograph, not into the chronograph, and we're going to see what speeds we're getting at my setup. So let's check the speed on the Core SR. This is 61.7 pounds, so about 61.5 pounds. 28 inches on the draw length. I'm shooting a 410 grain arrow on comfort. We'll shoot 2 or 3 shots and see what we get for our speeds. Bow holds very, very well. That 33 inches is nice. .262 on comfort. So it's going to be even quite a bit faster on performance. That's pretty impressive. Let me shoot another one and see if we can confirm that. Okay, so this is my second arrow on comfort with the Core SR. Boy, that draw is really nice. Holds really nice. 263. So 262 and then 263. So that's on comfort. I'm going to switch this over to performance. We'll see what the draw cycle looks like. I expect it to be more aggressive and maybe a little bit stiffer, a little bit more of a dump at the back end, but we're also going to be faster as well. So I'll be right back after I get things switched over. So I've got these modules switched over to performance on the Core SR. Again, 61.7 pounds, 28 inches on the draw length. Got a 410 grain Gold Tip Hunter XT 300. And let's see what the draw cycle feels like on performance. It does build up and get stiffer, and there's a dump into the back wall, but it's not as aggressive a dump as I had thought. I'm going to go ahead and shoot this to the chronograph. 272, so we're right at 10 feet per second gained. It does get stiffer, so I did notice the draw weight getting stiffer on me as it got close to that valley, and it does drop off, but it's not a super aggressive dump. I noticed more of the bow getting stiff than I do the big dump into the back end, so really not that bad at all to shoot. I'll shoot one more. We'll double check that on the chronograph, but pleasantly surprised with the performance setting on this. Okay, shot number 2 on performance on the Bowtech Core SR. So right there it stacks. It probably looks more aggressive than it really feels like there at the back end. There is a dump, but it's nothing too crazy. 271. So we're right there at that 9 to 10 feet per second gained with this bow. Now, I'm only 28-inch draw length, and I'm at 61.5 pounds, shooting a 410 grain arrow, and I'm shooting over 270 feet per second, which for me is fast. Most of my hunting setups are in that 255 range, so that's fast to me. So if I was looking for a bow that's going to give me more speed, if I'm hunting, jumpy whitetails, or if I'm trying to shoot a little bit further distance at pronghorn or mule deer or wanting a little bit more energy for hunting elk, this is going to be a great bow, especially for someone that's more in my category that's not able to get those speeds out of 30, 31 inch draw length, and someone that's not pulling 70, 72 pounds or whatever it might be. So you can get some good speeds out of a decently weighted arrow with going to a bow like this. So very impressed. A lot of great new features and a lot of new technology into these bows. And it's just a great looking bow. I really like the look of this. I think Bowtech makes some really nice looking bows, but their fit and finish and is really excellent as well. The finish on this is nice. You can tell there's a lot of effort put into these to make these bows really nice. And the new technology is great with the sight and with the quiver and everything else they've done, the time lock, the grip lock. So a lot of great features on these bows. But like I always say, go and see them for yourself. Go see your local dealer. If you're nearby here, I'm in West Central Kansas. If you're anywhere Central and Western Kansas, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'd love to meet with you, have you come in and just see what these bows are like. No pressure, no strings attached. Just come shoot them for yourself and see what they're all about, because a lot of people get stuck on specific brands that they've shot for years and years, and they've never shot a Bowtech, never been around one. And I think once you get one in your hands and you get the feel for one and you shoot one, you'll be pleasantly surprised and very impressed with the feel and the draw cycle and everything that goes into making these bows what they are. So great new bow from Bowtech. I've got several more that I'm going to go through here in the next couple of videos, so make sure you stay tuned to those. If you have any questions, you can contact me. My information is on my website, coyotecreekarchery.com. Hopefully this was helpful to you. Again, get out and see your local dealer and go shoot these bows for yourself. But anyways, hopefully this was helpful. Folks, thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless. So I've got one quick thing to add at the end of this video. I was putting this bow away, and I wanted to run a few more arrows through it. I just love shooting these bows so much, and they're just great shooting bows. So this is on the Core SR. When I did my review, I had the quiver off. Just for me, I just wanted to shoot with the quiver off and just get the feel for the bow. And I felt just a little bit of a jump forward. I went and shot this with the quiver on, and it was almost completely dead. So just having this lightweight quiver on here made a huge difference as far as what I felt in the jump forward, and a little bit of vibration that I noticed at the shot was basically virtually none. So that really impressed me enough that I had to come back here and add this to the end of the video. So you go try this bow out. You get a chance, see if you can shoot it with the quiver on, the sight on, just to get a feel for what that's going to feel like when you're actually taking this bow hunting, because the bare bow isn't going to tell you everything. It's a very dead bow. So I didn't quite give it a fair shake there when I was shooting it before. I noticed a little bit of jump, but once I put this quiver on, holy cow, it made a huge difference in the feel of the bow. So I was impressed enough to come back and add this to the end of the video. So you might check that out. Thanks for watching, folks.